In this 1,000-yard rifle build challenge, we're hampered by a few factors, mostly our budget. So we're limited to this Savage Axis rifle, which has a sporter weight barrel and a couple other issues. But that doesn't mean that we can't take advantages in other areas. One of the biggest, which we discussed in the last video, is the choice of caliber. So we decided, instead of going with .308, that we were going to do 7mm-08, which is just a .308 neck down to 7mm caliber. And here is our next step. We are going to be using these brand new bullets from Hornady. You might have heard about the ELD match bullets and the ELD-X hunting bullets. These are very high ballistic coefficient projectiles. They tend to be very heavy for their caliber. They're very long. And it's mostly about this new tip. Hornady found out that the tips on their older bullets, like the AMAXs, like this 208 grain AMAX here in the background, that they were melting in flight. And that was causing the bullets to become unstable as they got slower, and it was messing up the ballistic coefficient. So we're going to be using these bullets in our loads. And before we actually get down to developing the loads for this rifle, the first thing we need to do is figure out the cartridge overall length. And to do that, we need a once-fired case. A case that has been fired in your rifle and not yet resized is a very handy thing to have around. This will allow us to figure out the seating depth of the bullet in our gun. Now what I want, ideally, is for this bullet to be 5/1000ths of an inch off the lands. The lands are where the rifling is. It's where the bullet will actually engage the rifling. So I want just the tiniest jump from the bullet to where it strikes the rifling and then is forced down and forced through the barrel. Now to do this, you can see that the neck, there really is no tension because, again, this was fired and stretched inside my rifle. So what I'm going to have to do, I want just a little bit of tension on this neck so that the bullet can slide just a little bit but also stick on the way out and not just fall out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it here in my press. And this is the neck sizer die. I'm not going to do a full-length resize. But what I want is to give it just a little bit of neck tension. And this takes a little bit of testing. So let's try just a few pounds of pressure. Okay, so it's still very loose. That's more like it. I can push and pull the bullet with my fingers, but it's pretty tight. I think this will work well. So here's the drill to find the seating depth. I have my partially sized case, which doesn't have enough neck tension to really hold the bullet in place. There's just enough to keep it from sliding too easily. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently place this into the chamber of this rifle. I'm going to leave that bullet hanging out quite a bit because I want the rifling to push that bullet back into the case. Close that down. And be careful when opening this. You don't want the ejector to throw your round anywhere. But this right here should be the depth to where it engages the lands. Now what I want is to push this back another 5/1000ths. That will be the distance that I want. I don't want this actually touching the lands before I fire it. And what I'll do is I'll gauge this. I'll figure out how long this overall length is. And I'll run this a few more times just to make sure that I'm not getting any weird data. I'm going to do this a few more times, just make sure that they're all ending up the same length. Then I'll take that length and push it back 5/1000ths. Now for the actual load development. I decided to go with Hodgdon Varget, which is an excellent powder. It's useful for pretty much anything short action. Probably some long action stuff too. And instead of going with the usual ladder loads, I decided to try out this, optimized loads, which are supposed to be better. Instead of doing the usual, you have your minimum charge, and then you go up, say, 0.5 grains, all the way up to your maximum charge, and you shoot groups to figure out which one is your smallest, this is something a little bit different. First, it's all based off your max charge right here. So the maximum load in the Lee manual, for Hodgdon Varget anyway, in this case with this bullet, is 41 grains of Varget powder. So all of this is based off a 2% amount of this. So you just kind of back off by percents. I think this is 1% down, this is 1% down, this is 2% down. And then we actually do go over the maximum charge for one of our loads. I just have to be careful to watch for overpressure when I'm firing. If you want to learn more about optimized loads, you should look up the OCW site. I'll put the link here, and you can see the difference for yourself, see if it's something you might be interested in trying. In the next video, I will test these loads at the range. You're going to love the results. Subscribe to get instant updates when new videos roll out. Like the Social Regressive on Facebook to see behind the scenes. Click here to view the whole playlist, which is rapidly expanding and will eventually include the competitions where I will be testing this rifle.